I never anticipated I'd have over 1 million subscribers.
How long did it take you?
I was able to get 1 million subscribers in about, I had been teaching how to make traditional foods like bone broth and ferments, and I didn't know anything about how to do a YouTube channel. I'm 66 years old.
How have shorts helped your growth?
It helped my channel overall. If you're a long form content person, I think you do need to have a presence in shorts. However, you're not going to get the same benefits from it that you would if you... I thought it would be small.
Yeah, you're crushing it.
A cookbook from Random House, and my second cookbook's coming out. We're very happy to be part of your family.
Tell me a little bit about how you got started with this.
I started my channel in July of 2018, and I didn't know anything about how to do a YouTube channel. I'm 66 years old, and so, it's just all of this could sort of be a new experience. But I had been teaching how to make traditional foods like bone broth and ferments and cultured dairy and sourdough and so on and so forth in my kitchen. And I had been doing this for years and years. And when our son went to college, he and my husband said, "Oh, you're very passionate about this. You can take your classes, but we'll film you." My husband said, "I'll film you and you can put them on YouTube." So I said, "Oh, that'll be great. I can reach a lot of people because I really want to keep these skills alive. I don't want people to lose how to make these old-fashioned things."
You were having people over to your house?
Yeah, just did for free.
For free. Oh.
Yeah, just for free in my kitchen. I'm an older mom. I had my son in my 40s, and my social circle was younger moms. And they said, "Oh, you know how to make all this old-fashioned stuff, and will you teach us?" So every Saturday morning, they would just come over, and I would teach. And then it kind of just exploded, little by little. More and more people were coming to my kitchen, and then they were inviting me to their kitchens. And I was so happy because I love teaching how to make all these old-fashioned things, because it also is related to never wasting anything, because you use scraps. You're making bone broth and all these things that are just wonderful. So I was very happy. And to be honest with you, when I had the idea, when my husband and son had the idea to make the videos, and then, I got the idea of, okay, I can, put my classes on YouTube. I thought it would be small, but that I would at least reach a lot more people than I live outside of Austin, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, well, at least I can reach more people outside of Austin, Texas. But, this is very niche. So, it may be small. I never anticipated I'd have over 1 million subscribers.
Yeah, you're crushing it.
And a cookbook from Random House, and my second cookbook's coming out in August of next year. I can't believe it.
Yes,
but
so great.
I didn't know how to do this, so I said, okay, let me search YouTube. How do you make YouTube videos?
Yeah.
And I just searched on YouTube. Sean Cannell came up, and he seemed like a really nice young man, and he was very easy to understand and very methodical. I really liked that. This was 2017. I actually didn't start until 2018. And he's cute because he said, "Oh, you started right with me from the beginning," because he was offering this class that was new back then. And my husband got home from work. I said, "I think I need to take this guy's class, and figure out what I'm supposed to do." And, as the saying goes, the rest is history.
That's great. So it was an online class?
Yes, it was an online class. It was just Sean talking and telling you what to do. Very basic things, make a YouTube channel, make a banner.
Yeah.
Very
and
easy
so
things.
How long did it take you to get to 1 million subscribers?
I was able to get 10,000 subscribers in about 10 months.
Nice.
And then about 100,000 subscribers in about a little more than a year and a half. And maybe 1 million subscribers 4 or 5 years, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So steady as she goes.
Yeah,
That's great.
just growing little by little. After you hit 100,000 subscribers, it really starts to snowball.
Nice. Yeah. And so how have the shorts production, how have shorts helped your growth, do you think?
Oh, I definitely think shorts help, because I notice that when I am pretty consistent about putting out shorts, my views are higher. By 48 hours, maybe 10,000 more views than I would have if I was just putting out my long form content, and I do very, very long form content. So shorts kind of reach a new audience, and then people say, oh, this is intriguing. Maybe I want to watch her full length class. And I have definitely gotten new subscribers. And I mean, it's not significant. To be honest with you, nothing on my channel is like viral and crazy.
Yeah.
I have these very long, detailed teaching videos, and over time they really grow, and over time they'll have, like, I like the way Sean Cannell will say viral for you. Viral for me is a couple of years. And I'll get eventually a million views on a video how to make something. And then when I take the shorts, it's amazing to me that sometimes I'll get comments, because I find shorts sometimes a little challenging, how to actually do the comments. If I'm looking at somebody else's shorts and find the description, YouTube doesn't always make it, super easy. It's not the same as, regular long form content. But people they're very determined, and they'll leave me comments, and then they'll say, oh, I'm glad I found you through shorts. And then they'll subscribe to my channel, and
That's great.
they'll start watching my long form content. So it's small. It's not like you're getting 1,000 subscribers, but for me to get 10 subscribers little by little, and then it starts to snowball, for me that's really good.
Yeah, that's great because so a lot of people will say that the people that come to your channel and watch shorts, they will only continue to watch shorts. Like there's not much crossover, between those audiences, the people that watch shorts and the people that watch the long form. That can be a little discouraging sometimes to when people are thinking, oh, should I make shorts or should I not make shorts? But it's good to have some anecdotal evidence here that you are seeing some crossover. So you're kind of viewing it like a
Definitely.
little, like an advertisement for your channel and for your longer form content.
That's exactly how I see shorts. And the reason is my videos are so long and so detailed that my shorts really are, in essence, you raise a really good point. They're like little advertisements, because the way that I teach is so detailed and so methodical that it's tough to get a true wealth of knowledge in 60 seconds. Like some people are cooking something and they're like, boom, 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 going really fast. And they can do that in 60 seconds. For me, it's more like me saying, now, if you're making bone broth, you want to keep the temperature at 180 degrees Fahrenheit. Anything over that will break your gelatin. Does that mean it's not nutritious? No. However, you're not going to get the same benefits from it that you would if you cooked it at a lower temperature. Boom. And then there's some
Yeah.
other person short. So they're
Right,
just like
right.
these
So it's
these
a
little,
teaser. Yeah,
it's a
because then people
teaser.
are like, "Well, that's interesting. She probably got some other good information about, cooking this thing. If I wanna
Mhm.
know everything about it, I better go to her channel." Yeah,
And so they're really very much, I would say, yes,
yeah.
you had, that's a great word for it. They're advertisements.
So, yeah,
And
so you
then
don't have to
people,
try and pack in, a bunch of editing to try to, tell a whole story in one short. You give them a little piece of the story and let
mhm.
them decide if they wanna watch more.
Yes, and I really want to say that Opus can be a terrific way for you to reach a whole new audience. These people may never have heard of me. And then, yes, they'll come over. I see it all the time, because people will say, oh, I saw your short, and
Yeah,
that was a good tidbit. I want to learn more from you. That's what's so great about Opus, because you can just cut out all these little clips, and you don't have to try to make a short. Before I knew about you, I tried making shorts. It was really hard for me. Uh,
yeah.
I I found it very, very difficult, because my nature is not to be super succinct. I always worry that people are not going to understand, because I'm used to teaching beginners. So that's what I loved about Opus. And there's probably so much more I could do with Opus, and I'm probably not taking advantage of everything. My husband will just put it into your system. Opus will spit out a bunch of clips, maybe 20 or 30 on my long form content. And then I go through them, and then I say, oh, this is a good one. Oh, this is a good one. this one, maybe it's a little too vague. And so I'll skip over that. And then I'll just start releasing them. Sometimes I'll release one every day. Sometimes I have different strategies because I'm also releasing things on my community page and my long form content. But it's a nice mix of things, and it keeps me in front of people's eyes.
So are you putting them on just YouTube, or are you also posting on Instagram and TikTok and all the other ones as well?
I don't do TikTok, but I do Instagram and Facebook. I think they're doing well. On Instagram, my feedback has been very good. People are like, "Oh, I love this. You used to just put a picture. Oh, I'm glad you're putting a little video." I really focused on YouTube and my website, because together they generate significant income, and it can get too much. And so I didn't try to spread myself too thin, because it's just my husband and me.
Yeah. Oh,
We're
that's great.
the whole team. One thing I noticed when he started putting the Opus clips for me on Instagram, my subscriber count started growing. And normally I've never really paid much attention to it and was always low, but it's over like, and this may sound like nothing to a lot of people, but to me, it's significant. I have about 17,000 subscribers now on Instagram.
That's
And
great.
it was always pretty low, but people are really responding well to the shorts.
That's great. And so has the scheduler been useful for you guys? Do you schedule it straight from OpusClip?
Yes, my husband does. He uses the schedule for Facebook, Instagram, and
Oh,
X.
wow. Okay, great. Are you the editor? Do you edit, or is it your husband?
We do that all in house,
Oh,
and
okay.
it's not difficult at all.
Do your videos have a lot of editing, or are they a lot of, long takes and just you in front of the camera kind of?
We're very simple. It's one main camera on me, and I'll do a particular step in a recipe. I stop, my husband stops the camera, and then I do the next step. And,
Yeah.
it's just very, basic. Like, you know what I'm like? I'm like the old PBS cooking shows. Remember those?
No.
Oh, okay. You know, it's like Julia Child and Jacques Pepin, and
Okay.
you're just talking through the steps,
Yeah.
and very, old fashioned like that. And then we use the iPhone to take a picture or film another little video up close of what I'm doing. So if it's something that's people I feel need to see something very up close, my husband will just come in and film with the iPhone or take a
Yeah.
picture or whatever. And then he'll just do an overlay
Yeah.
in the long form. And then he uses Opus, to cut it up into a lot of little short clips. And then I just go through it.
And so how much editing would you say that you guys do with the OpusClip editor? Like what percentage of clips do you think need a certain amount of polishing?
I think most of them are ready to go. And then we put the captions on top, the same ones that Sean Cannell uses.
Uh-huh.
It's like little colorful bubbles,
Uh-huh.
words showing up. And if I will look through all of them, my husband, will give me like 20 or 30. I'll look through all of them. And if they're under 60 seconds, but I feel I got cut off a little too quickly, or maybe they missed a little something at the beginning, I'll let my husband know, and then he'll stretch it for me.
So that's about the extent of it, just kind of, a little length here or there.
He checks the wording. Sometimes if I'm talking about ancient grains and they might spell it wrong. And then all I do is in the description, I also will say this is a short form, content from a longer form video, and here's the link.
Have you noticed any correlation between the more successful shorts and the virality score?
Yes, I like that very much, because I'll spend more time on the ones that you've ranked better. I'll watch them through, and I'll say, okay, this is good, and you have rated this correctly, and then I'll use the tool to get a good title for it. A lot of that with shorts, I feel it's more what's just happening in the short
Yeah.
within the first few seconds
Yeah, it's
that
less about the
I
title.
yeah. But yes, no, I notice those do better than some of the ones that I'll pick that maybe have like a 70 rating,
Right.
and sometimes those are ones that I'll pass on.
Right.
But
Okay.
but occasionally I feel, in my humble opinion, something that you've ranked a little lower, I feel it's actually quite good. But you're smarter than me
The algorithm
because
is
you do better. You do
oh,
better. I might think, I said, gee, that's pretty good. Wonder why they gave it a 70. I'm gonna post it. And
okay.
it won't do as well as the ones that you've ranked higher.
Interesting. Okay, well, kudos to us. I'm glad to hear that. Did you use the product before and after Clip Anything? And could you tell us
Mhm.
any differences there?
Yes, in the very beginning, it sometimes was jumping and it seemed disjointed, and uh, I felt it was missing things sometimes,
Hmm.
and sometimes just the nature of my video didn't resonate well,
Hmm.
into that vertical format. Uh, but I've seen a lot of improvements, and I definitely think that it's a lot clearer and a lot more geared to people who are showing something without words, like, oh, here's the cake.
Right.
And
Yeah.
then maybe you're not saying anything right away, but they're showing that cake. Yes.
Okay, great. That's good to know. And so how long have you been using Opus, would you say now?
I would say at least 3 years. Oh yeah, maybe if I go back and look at my very first short.
Have you used anything else to make shorts, or are every one of your shorts Opus clips?
Every single one of my shorts is an Opus Clips.
Wow, that's
I
great.
as I shared with you, I tried making a few in the beginning, and I really hated it. And
Yeah.
when oh gosh, I did not like making shorts. And I just said, well, so be it. I'm just going to be a long form content girl because I can't do this. It was
Yeah.
very stressful, and they're like,
Yeah.
okay, say this, okay, say that. Yeah.
Were
And
you
I
trying to make like bespoke shorts, like tailored, like shoot them just for shorts, or were you still trying to
yes.
edit them for okay, yeah. Yeah, that's
No.
harder. Yeah, than even just
And it
making
it was
clips.
horrible, and then we discovered your product, and then I said, "Oh, this is a dream come true. This is exactly made for people who wanna have a presence in shorts," and I think that it is important. I think it's important to do a little bit of everything. I think you need to have whatever content you're strongest doing, whether it's shorts or long form content or whatever the case may be. But if you're a long form content person, I think you do need to have a presence in shorts so that people can discover you, like you had mentioned earlier about it being a little bit of an advertisement about who you are. But I think a lot of people who make long form content are not comfortable specifically making a short made to be a short.
Right.
If that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
Because
then, but
that takes time.
oh my gosh, it takes more time to make a short than it does a long form content, because you gotta have everything and, it's I
Yeah.
just don't
And a
like
lot
it
of
at
thought
all.
has to go into it. Yeah.
Yeah, then you have to be very succinct and make sure you have everything. Some people are fantastic at it, but
Yeah.
I would say that that's the minority. I
Yeah.
would say the majority are regular people like me who are making long form content. It may be cooking, it may be an interview, it may be a podcast, a variety of things. Maybe they just talk about a subject matter. Maybe they're showing how to repair something. There's so many more people that I think are in the long form content group, but they want to have a presence with shorts, and they also want to be able to share those shorts on other platforms like I'm doing now. And being able to take your long form content, stick it into Opus, then be given a bunch of shorts that you can look through and decide what you want to upload, what maybe you want to pass on it. And but even if you pass on some, it's okay because you give so many. You give a huge
Yeah.
selection to those of us who do long form content. And I'm so happy with it. And something I really like about it is if I have to skip a week because of something's going on in my world, uh, I don't, but I don't, even though I have a lot of content, and I think many creators would be able to relate to this, is if people are used to seeing you, for example, I'm every Saturday morning at 10 Central. And all of a sudden, if you don't show up, then people are like, "Are you okay? What happened?"
Right, right, right.
But sometimes, as the expression goes, life gets in the way and you fall a little behind, and maybe you don't have a bench of videos to put out, or you've not had a chance to edit them, whatever the case may be. And I love knowing I have those shorts because I'll put a short out at 10 Central Saturday morning if I can't do a long form content. And then to sort of reward my viewers for their patience with me, I'll put a short out every week, that following week,
Every
until
day that following week.
every day,
Yeah.
every day that following week. And I'll put one, sometimes I'll do two a day, and I'll put one out in the morning, and then I'll put one out in the evening or something like that. And I notice my views will do very well. It's not like I will see a big decrease in views. My views will do well. My subscribers are still growing. Even though, the revenue on shorts is different than long form content, but because my shorts appear to be more like little advertisements, and then people are intrigued, and then they come over, they subscribe, they're watching my long form content. I definitely believe there is a correlation. I can't 100% prove this, but I do believe there is a correlation between the shorts I put out and my long form content that gets a spike in
Right,
views,
right.
because I may have a short based or a bunch of shorts based on an older video where, I don't know, I'm maybe making bread or making cream cheese or something like that.
Yeah,
And then all of a sudden, when I look in my history of the last 48 hours, I'll see down at the bottom of the YouTube and the Creator Studio will show you videos 1 through 10 that have been your top performers over the last 48 hours. And I will see a particular video that was put out a while ago, but I was sharing Opus clips based on that older video.
I see, and
And
then
then
that longer video will rise in the rankings?
exactly, and
That's great.
I'll see it down at the bottom. It'll be number 10, and then maybe the next day it'll be number 8, and so on
Yeah.
and so forth.
So you're not getting a lot of, uh, like, the revenues, like you said, is not the same with the shorts, but you can use those to, like, boost the longer form where you are gaining the revenue.
Yes, exactly.
Do you think there's any way you could put a number on how much money OpusClip has helped you make?
That's a good question. I don't really know. As creators who have shorts that just receive, a regular amount of views, people will know, it's a few cents, and
Yeah.
then maybe it's $1, or something like that. But I would say that the connection between the shorts to long form content can over time expose new viewers, and then new watch time to your long form content, which really, I mean, that can create thousands of dollars, long
Yeah.
form content. So even though I can't put a specific number, anything you do as a creator who primarily is relying on long form content and not making original shorts, just using Opus clips to make your shorts, I'm generating thousands and thousands of views
Yeah.
with those shorts, which are, I
Yeah.
do see a connection
Right,
that
that'll translate.
is increasing the views on my long form content.
And do you ever use the shorts as, like, literal advertisements for, say, your products or your cookbook or your, I don't know if you do classes?
That's so funny that you say that. I have not, but I'm definitely considering doing that.
Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah. Well, when you do, let us know how that works out.
I
We
will.
just added a bunch of new abilities. You can actually now upload video content, like, straight to the editor, so that you can, let's say, you could have, like, a little logo at the beginning, and then you could have a call to action at the end that, shows people, hey, buy it here or whatever. That's another way that you could use those features to make it more like an ad if you were trying to, not that you would have to use it that way.
I like that idea.
We're trying to let people know that we're breaking down obstacles for them. If it's either they're spending a lot of time already making shorts, we could save them time. If they just weren't going to do shorts because, it seems too hard, hopefully we're making it easy enough for them to actually do that. And good to hear from you about what you can see are the tangible benefits from it. So that's really great. So you've definitely noticed your channel growth from it. You've noticed crossover in to your longer form videos, and basically you wouldn't have even been doing it if it weren't for the product, because it was kind of a hassle. So yeah, these are all great selling points for us.
Oh, I'm glad. And
Yeah.
I would say that it actually does save me time,
Oh.
because even if you are a creator who's doing long form content, you're going to have to do shorts one way or another. I
Hmm.
mean, I really believe that you need to be doing what YouTube offers. I feel overall, if you use or do what YouTube offers, I think that helps your channel overall.
They reward you. Yeah.
They reward you. The algorithm rewards you.
Right.
I believe that. Because there's so much push to creators when YouTube introduces something new. And I firmly believe that when I started using Opus clips and having shorts, it helped my channel overall. That even my long form content was being promoted more than it was before. I
Right.
really believe that, because whenever I do things that YouTube is pushing, it just seems to benefit my overall channel. So you save me a lot of time, because I would have to be making intentional shorts, which number one, I don't like to do. And number two, are very time consuming. So you
Yeah.
allow me to be on a platform that is bringing in views and revenue to my channel, and at the same time saving me time, because all I have to do is look through the
Yeah.
shorts that you present to me.
Awesome. Is there anything on your wish list for Opus?
Oh, that's a good question. Can I ask my husband this question
Sure.
too?
Yeah.
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 Honey?
It would be neat to be able to feed back analytics back to the original sources of them to help draw, you know, I don't know if they can use AI more to say, okay, you've chosen these, and we believe these are the best. These are how they performed. And so we suggest you keep choosing these types of things more often, or we recommend something
I
different.
do believe that we do that on the back end. I just don't think that we share that specifically with the users. So, but
Oh,
that's an interesting way to do that. So there, it's possible, and I'm not saying that
maybe on the
we're going to
back
do
end.
this because I don't know, but so to have a very specific to the channel, like training algorithm that's specific to the channel, that would actually be something very interesting. I'll take that to the engineers. We'll see if we can do something about that.
But overall, I have found it very useful. You seem to be getting better and better at clipping shorts that are relevant.
Awesome.
And not that they didn't make sense in the very beginning,
Yeah,
but it just seems to me, over the last year or so, maybe they're just really good. The clips that you decide to pull out of my long form content. I don't know,
that's
maybe
great.
I'm making better long form content.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's both. Do you know what the most viewed video is on your channel, and whether it's a long form or whether it's a short?
The most viewed, they're long form.
I see you have, yeah, 169,000 on your most popular short, but
Yeah, and then
your
I have in the
most
millions on
popular,
some
right?
of
Yeah,
my.
like 3 million for your
Yeah.
sauerkraut.
But can you believe that? That over 100,000 views on a short for
I know,
me?
right? That's great. Yeah, 170,000 on a short.
Which one is that about?
Who should not use chamomile? Who
Oh,
should not use
yes.
chamomile?
Use
Yeah,
chamomile, yes. People who have
and then
hay fever and things like
oh,
that. I noticed that the things that say, don't do something are always popular.
Yeah, that's another question I had. Do you ever look at what's having success and use the shorts and the topics of the shorts to like do a little market research on what people are finding interesting and clickable? And then
Yes.
and then use that information to like double down and make more content like that?
Yes, I do, because I found that very interesting. When I saw you clip that from my short and you had, recommended that to myself, I said, that's going to be a good topic. People are going to wonder because everybody thinks, oh, sure, I should take chamomile tea.
Sure.
Sure. Oh, it's so good. It's so good for everybody,
Yeah.
And but herbs have medicinal sides to them, and they also have allergic reaction sides to them. And people who have hay fever don't do well. They think they're drinking chamomile tea to help them fall asleep, and then they're sneezing all night.
Right. And so our OpusClip AI was the one that chose that title, Who Should Not Use Chamomile.
Yes.
That's amazing. That's great.
Yeah.
And that's your
And
most viewed short.
yeah, and so that prompted me to make more videos about herbs that have done relatively well.
That's amazing. All right. So another use case for Opus, you can do a lot of content and then test how well people like those topics.
Yeah, exactly. What I'll do is recently I made a bread baking video. That video did well. And so I had my husband put that into Opus Clips. And I've got a bunch of clips, and I'm anxious to start putting those out to see which part of that bread baking video,
Yeah.
which short will do the best. And then I'm going to make a video expanding on whichever short did the best, because that clearly is
Yes.
an area of bread baking
Yeah.
that people need help with.
Wow. That's so cool. Well, I definitely am interested to find out how that goes when you do that. So let us know. Get back in touch.
Well, thank you very
Yeah,
much
absolutely.
for letting me share my Opus experience. Great product.
Thanks for watching Opus Insiders. I hope you learned something useful. Check out the description for info on our guests and consider subscribing to get notified when the next episodes go live. Have a great day. Cheers.